Okay, wherever you are, good morning. This is the Good Morning Show, reaching you live from Yola, Nigeria. This is Usaku FM 90.5. King Yadah, the velvet voice, welcoming you to the show. The Radio Gazelle is right beside me in this kingdom this morning. Good morning, Radio Gazelle.
Good morning, King Yadah, and good morning to the people of Yola and everyone listening to us via Usaku FM. You are welcome to the show.
We had the International Women's Day, and there were lots of issues at stake. Lots of issues were highlighted. One was the empowerment of women, the rights of women, and all that can be done to make things better for women around the globe. What are the challenges currently in Nigeria? What is the scenario at the moment? And the big picture is that every day in Nigeria, over 150 women die daily, every day, from pregnancy-related causes, either conception, abortion, complications, and further complications postpartum in the first 6 weeks of delivery. And that figure is one that globally everyone agrees is not acceptable. About 300,000 women die, and about 60,000 of those die in Nigeria. Whether it's 1/4, whether it's 15%, whether it's 24%, the figures show a clear range. Whatever figures you're using, from between 15% to 24%. Whether it's 15, which is the least, that is 1/6 of the global death burden from pregnancy-related causes. And if you're taking 20, that is 1/5. And if you go 24, that is 1/4. Whatever the statistics, it is not a good one. At least 15% of the global deaths occur in Nigeria. That is what agencies, organizations, various individuals are working hard to ensure that that statistic is pulled down. And to help us talk to all of that this morning, we do have some gentlemen of the press. As we said over the weekend, it was International Women's Day. As advocates in the media sphere, what have you been working on from the things you've seen on the field? What are the things that need to be worked on more to bring down these statistic of Nigeria having between 18 and 24% of the global death burden from pregnancy-related causes? Let's start with the chairperson. What is it that needs to be done now?
In the society, a woman plays a very vital role. So if you look at it holistically, you will see that woman is a very important person as far as the society is concerned. And so we need to have the woman to be in a good state of mind. We need to have the woman be in a good state of health. If the woman is not healthy, if she's sick, for instance, in the home, you find out that a lot of things will go wrong. But when the woman is healthy, she is strong, things go very well. So looking at it in this angle, we are very concerned about the woman, not only the woman too, but also the man, because when we talk about the family, we also include the man in it. And so in this regard, we are talking about, allowing women to access family planning services and child birth spacing. That is what we advocate for the woman. If it's a common say that when you educate a woman, you educate the whole nation. So if a woman is healthy, in my own way that I can put it, if she's healthy, the whole nation will be healthy. And so we want the woman to be in a good state of mind. Let her access family planning services so that it goes a long way to also reduce the maternal mortality rates that we witness every day. It goes a long way to promote a healthy community. It goes a long way to promote a good and strong family. So by and large, please, the woman, as this theme says this year, accelerate action. Let us help the woman accelerate action to access family planning services. And mind you, we're not saying that you cannot give birth to the number of children that you want to have. I always want to say this. Far from it. If you want to have 20 children, why not? But please, let there be a child spacing in between these families, because within that period, the woman gets to recuperate herself.
You mean 20 children from different women, right?
Even from one woman, it is possible. Of course. It is. Our parents of old, we hear of them giving birth to 18 children, 17, 20, 24. in times past. So it's not a magic, or would I say it's not voodoo, that a woman should give birth to like 20 or 20, because she is wired for it. It all depends on how you go about it, So if you want 20 children, like I would say, please go ahead, but allow the woman.
I think I have a problem with that.
okay.
Let me not having a problem.
All right, let me not say 20. If you want to have 12
is very
12. 20 is alarming, right? Okay, 12.
Even 12 is
alarming.
It's actually risky for the woman.
Well, it all depends on the person. If you are economically fit, if you feel you are buoyant enough to take care of these children, why not? If you can cater for them, you can take care of their education, take care of their needs and necessities, you can clothe them, everything that there is to be done for them. If you can do it, why not? You can. Why not? But let them be spaced, so that this woman, you reduce the rate of mortality. Women dying every day, going to labor rooms and not coming back. You find out a woman will give birth to a child and she herself does not survive the process. So, but when you space it, it gives the woman time to get back her body. The virtues that she would have lost through childbirth would have returned within that period, at least 3 years in between. It's not bad, so that she will recuperate herself. If there are health issues within that time, can be resolved before she again conceives and then goes through another process of childbearing. So by and large, that is what so I'll retrieve back the 20 I earlier said, since it's now becoming an issue for Ephraim. So I would say, please, if you want to have 6 children, have them, but space them. Let the woman access the family planning services, so that it will help her through the process of childbearing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'll come to Gloria now. Child spacing, child birth, and what the man and the woman can do. Before we go to what the man can do, because we also have a man amongst us here, what can the woman do for herself in all of this? Let's start with that.
Okay, before I react to that, I'd like to talk about what Samamo said about a woman having 12 or 20 children. For me, I like to think, I look at the uterus like a balloon. So imagine pumping it or blowing the balloon 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 20 times. The first time you blow it and keep it for a while. Now, if you are talking about uterus, the baby is going to be in that womb for a period of 9 months. So imagine what happens within that period, and then the baby comes out. Then again, she goes back again. The balloon is inflated again, and you keep that balloon for a while again. And then imagine what happens when you inflate, deflate for that number of times. So definitely, it's going to affect the woman. But the message you are
of course, we know she was just trying to use.
Yes, I understand. That's what I'm saying. The message you are trying to pass is that it is very important to be able to space children, have the number of children you want, but you should be able to space them. I think the WHO recommendation is 2 to 3 years before having another child. Okay, so now to your question, what men can do.
Women.
What women can do. Okay, it is very important for women to drive gender equality, for women's empowerment. Women must be able to have control over their bodies.
What exactly do you mean by control over their bodies? Because there is that's a very serious topic now. How can a woman have control over her bodies when we know the society in which we live, the religion? In fact, it is said that if there's been no intimacy sexually, a marriage has not been consummated.
Yes,
so how does a woman have control over her body, or how should she?
Okay, the woman should be able to say, this is the number of children I would like to have. And then, as a matter of fact, the man and the woman ought to have even sat down before even going into marriage to say, okay, we want to have so number of children, we want to have 3, we want to have 4, so that by the time they they begin the marriage journey proper, they should be able to say, to agree that, okay, they want to have so number of children, so that the woman is not burdened at the end of the day with so many children. So the woman should be able to put her foot down and say, okay, I'd like to have 3 children, 4 children, and these children, I'm going to be able to, I would like to space them within, okay, 4 years, 5 years, so that, let's say, okay, now I have a degree or an NCE, but I'd like to continue my education. So after 1 or 2 children, I'd like to go back to school, and then within that space that the woman is in school, the children or child she has is growing. She's able to take care of that child to better manage her home, her finances, rather than having so many children consecutively, and then she's burdened. She has so much on her plate. At the end of the day, it affects her psychologically, emotionally, and otherwise.
Thank you very much, Gloria. Let's come to the man amongst us now, amongst the women on the other side of the table.
Blessed art thou among women.
I wanted to say he's not a man. He's a man
I'm not on that side. You're the one on the other side. So, all right. So let's talk to men now. She said the chair, as well as Gloria, have spoken, and she said Gloria talked about an agreement. I've heard parents of old say they wanted certain number of children, then some children came as mistakes. The pregnancy just occurred.
As
they were on
discharge.
Exactly. they were having family planning, and it didn't work. And then so that's what Gloria said. Let's talk about it, discuss. And then the chair is saying that there should be proper spacing, irrespective of the number of children. That's why she just gave that example. Properly space your children. Whatever number of children you want to have, properly space them. Now, as a man, what would you be saying to men in this regard?
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. The chairperson did say something. A healthy woman is a healthy home. A healthy home translates to an healthy community. And an healthy community translates to a healthy nation. And a healthy nation is a wealthy nation.
Exactly.
You see, health is something we cannot toy with. As a man, I will advocate that we give the women a sense of belonging, because as a man, if you don't support your wife, if you don't take her health into consideration, like she said, when the wife is sick, the home is sick, and no man will want to begin to manage a sick home. It will be down on you emotionally, financially, and otherwise. So, and every man should be able to support that woman in his life. Is it during childbirth? Is it economic power? Like my sister said, Gloria said, encourage her to really pursue a career. We have career women who have children. I don't go on those days. I don't want my wife to go to school, because if she goes to school, she will be bigger than me or whatever. No. I'm an apostle of give her an opportunity. She's an helpmate. She will support you. She will support the home. She will support every other economically and otherwise. How many times do we really stay at home that we will not give our wife the opportunity to do what she needs to do? We are not saying that the opportunity given to her that she should misuse it and begin to go away. What we want is that our health is very paramount, and if we want to really sustain this health, we must support her.
Sorry, as a rider to that, you say men rarely stay at home, but they stay at home long enough to get their wives pregnant. They stay at home long enough to get their wives pregnant. So why not have that discussion, since you're not the one who's always around? Sometimes men are on holidays and they practically run away from the home because where's your mother? Call your mother. Because they cannot handle the pressure that comes with staying with the children at home. So if they are barely at home and they are the ones primarily responsible for these children, what then do they need to do?
Yes, that's why I said we must listen to the woman. We must listen to the woman. Most women will tell you, my husband, this is what I want. Why do you want it this way? Let there be a conversation. Let there be an agreement. Okay, we are going to have 6 children, we're going to have 4 children, we're going to have what number of children we're going to have. The basic thing is child spacing. I ran into a family, you can't say which one is senior from the other. It's quite unfortunate. I imagine the kind of trauma that woman had gone through. My last child is 10. Like she said, accidental this, I'm not praying for any accidental. I'm just looking at it from that angle. Should there be any of that now? I don't think I will have problem, because I know my wife will mentally, physically, she's strong enough for that purpose. And financially too, I believe we'll be able to do that, because by the time the child will be going, a lot of responsibility would have been reduced. In other words, That's the kind of encouragement we want our men to do. Encourage your wife. Even if the wife said, I want a child now, and after this, some women will say they want it quick succession.
So that they can rest.
Yes, quick.
It's not the best because it will down on you much later.
Yes.
So our men should support the family planning procedures. Thank God we have so many procedures that you can. They want best for you as a woman. They want best for you as a family. Go there. Go to this family service center.
Centers.
Assess it. Encourage your wife to go. Even carry them there. When men start carrying their wife to family center services, where they can get these services rendered, I can also tell, okay, yesterday I took my wife to a family center. This is it. Oh, you did? You begin to pass the message. This is what we are actually doing. This advocacy is letting the men be in the front runner.
Okay, I know
their women to access family planning services.
Thank you. My colleague has questions she wants to ask, but before she comes in, I'll ask Ojoma to respond to all of what we have said now. There are so many issues coming up from our conversation now, but I want her to weigh in. Where do you think something needs to be done, whether from the man, the woman, or the society? It's a softball for you, whichever angle you want. Just hit it now.
Okay, I think from my own aspect, the women need to be enlightened. More understanding should be out there for women to understand that it is proper for them to space their child for their own health, for their own good.
As a parent, sex education in your home is very vital. It starts from the home. After all, they say charity begins at home. It starts from the home where the parents would have to sit with the adolescents in their home and educate them, let them know what there is to know about sex education. It starts from there. You tell the boy the advantages, the disadvantages, let them know there is no secrecy in this, because if you do not tell them, they will go outside and learn it on their own. These days, social media has a way of influencing, the youth. The phone, handset we use these days. What they do not learn in the house, the phones will teach them. They watch it on the televisions. They will learn from peer groups and all of that. So let us parents be responsible and teach our children sex education. Let them know what the implications are. Let them know what the advantages are. And let them know what it means to abstain. Abstinence. We preach abstinence all the time. Abstain to a time where you get married. You can enjoy all of it, however you want to. But in the meantime, while you are still growing up, you need to know this, you need to know that. And then there should be policies, that are intentional about, teaching the youth, the young ones, the children, the adolescents. For instance, you could introduce, already we have it in the curriculum, where of course it's part of biology. They teach you sexual reproduction, but we need to go extra mile so that people can really know what they're getting into, children especially, so that they have the knowing of what it is. When you carry out a particular action, this is a repercussion of it. Let them know. It will shock you that these days that we've gone out on fields and we have gotten reports, we've seen with our eyes, we know that young girls or between the ages of 13 to 18, they access family planning services. They do. But what they do is they don't go to places where they are known. They go to communities where they are not known and then register and then collect these services. So we would like to encourage, even though we are not preaching promiscuity, please, we're not. We are not saying go and be promiscuous. But if you cannot help yourself, meet experts, talk to them. They will let you know what you should do. Rather than just going, getting unwanted pregnancies, terminating your life ambition, your dreams that you have, you go and be aborting children. You don't even know what these children will be in the future. Perhaps you're aborting the life of a president of a country. Perhaps you're aborting the life of an ambassador. You don't know the personality you are aborting. So instead of aborting these children, instead of going into, sexual spree and all of that, please, I will encourage that you go to family service centers and talk to experts. They will tell you what to do.
Okay, when it comes to the situation whereby a lady or a girl is pregnant, what would you like to say to this particular person that mistakenly had a baby, and she is in a situation where she know that this baby is unwanted, she would not like to have it. What would you like to say to that person out there?
Well, you see, it takes a lot of counseling. You would have to put that girl under counseling and monitor that girl closely, because if you just turn the other eye, anything can happen. So I would suggest that that lady is kept under supervision, in the care of somebody she can trust. You can't just put her in the care of somebody that she cannot trust. Where there is trust, at least it goes a long way, to win the heart of a person. So it's a careful approach that you will give to that girl, because perhaps her mind is already made up. She would not want to have that child. But now that it has happened and it is a known fact, if it were not known, maybe it is hidden, she would go on her own to go and abort it. But now that it is known, I would advise that she is kept in the hands of people she trusts, people she can talk to, and people she can listen to, so that they will counsel her and let her know that it is a life she is carrying. And now that it has happened, she has to carry it through. It's a mistake, yes. Mistake has been done. But what do we do going forward? We cannot abort this child. We have to give birth to this child. So you have to talk to her all the time. You have to make her see reasons why it's important. It could terminate her life, not only the life of the baby. In the process, we need you to be in one piece. We need you to be alive, because there are better things ahead. As far as there's life, there is hope. Yeah. It is not the end of the world. So you will have to carry it through. Through proper counseling and through the guide of somebody that she can trust.
Okay.
I'm sure we will take it.
Okay, talking about family planning now, we talked about the importance of family planning, right? And I tend to understand, or should I say, listen to the testimonies of people talking about some of the implications of family planning. I know a classmate of mine back in the university that swore that she can never have a family planning because her mom died because of family planning.
How?
She said it was more like she bled to some certain extent because she had family planning, and at the end she got to lose her life. And most of the time, imagine that lady preaching to almost a lot of people not to have family planning because it has a lot of implications. So what would you like to say about that?
Okay, I'm going to say a little, and then I'll allow my colleagues to contribute. Let it not be that I'm the only one talking. Okay, you see, we cannot really say for certain that she died as a result of excessive family planning. There are complications. Something might have happened. You cannot just attribute it to that particular family planning that she has accessed.
Okay.
Something would have happened along the way. I'm not an expert to tell you what probably, the technicalities involved and all of that. But I think in my own common knowledge, accessing family planning, or when you go to access, they tell you if you have issues, always come back. They will always find a way of, solving those issues. So I think maybe it's a complication that went wrong along the way that she had to, lose her life. But outrightly, we can't say that she lost because she accessed family planning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true, because scientific research has proven that family planning does not result in infertility, does not result to death. So probably she must have had some complications. And then before accessing family planning, women are usually counseled on the methods that they should go for. So apart from the intrusive methods where IUDs and implants, there are other methods, like even the natural method, the calendar method is a family planning method. We have even the use of condoms is family planning. So there are a variety of methods that women can choose from.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I can also say something like, while we were on the feed covering, there was a woman. Okay, I went to a service center where I saw a woman that she already have a complication already, and she noticed it fastly. I think her and her husband came to the center for the service provider to check, and then we scheduled another one for her instantly. She complained that it was making her bleed, as you said. So then the service provider checked on her and then they changed it. So I think what happened to that lady's mother, maybe by then they didn't have the knowledge that okay, they can actually go back to check and then change another method so it won't affect the woman to that extent. So I don't think.
Okay, just to add to what my colleagues have said, like my co-presenter had asked, each time we go to the field, what we're told is always do a check even before you start the procedure to test what works and what would not work for you. And if even after using a particular method, it's not working for you, some have talked about dizziness while using, some have talked about severe bleeding while using a particular method. There are other options. That's why you have a variety of products, as they call them, which you can use. So for anyone listening to us out there and having maybe issues with bleeding or issues with dizziness or tiredness, or some say they grow fat, some say they grow thin, depends on what it is that's working. You could check, and then proper information from experts will tell you what to do to reverse that, whether to change that or what not to do. So it's a whole gamut of information available today, not like when her mother, unfortunately, they didn't have access to all of that information. I'll stay with Ojoma now again. We've talked about all of this, what the men can do, what the women can do, what society can do. Now let's look at what communities can do. The chair talked about people accessing family planning methods, particularly on married girls, in communities where they are not known, because in their communities they will be perceived as promiscuous or something. Nobody tells the boy or the guy or the man who gets 10 girls pregnant that he's doing anything wrong, so to say. Exactly. So what can the community do now in this matter? Some boys very randy, some men very randy, and then getting people pregnant everywhere. Nobody's saying anything to them. So talk to the community members now.
Okay, I think to the community right now, I will actually like to tell them that, okay, you don't condemn a lady because you feel she says she's going to assess family planning method. Okay, you just feel, okay, this lady must be very promiscuous and she cannot just keep to herself. That's why she's going to assess and such commodity and all of that. No, we should have that understanding that even though we are not preaching that okay, you should go ahead to live your life the way you want and then get pregnant, the lady should not just be seen as the carrier of all the evils. Yes, okay, because at the end of the day, there was actually a story in the Bible that okay, the woman was the one that was caught, and then they were trying to throw stones at her. Where is the man that she was caught with? She was nowhere to be found. He was nowhere to be found. So please, let's not just have this. Our society should have this understanding that okay, we make things work together. Whether you're a male or a female, there must be an agreement before anything happens. So that condemnation on the ladies alone that okay, she's a prostitute, that's why she got pregnant, she's this, she's that, we should actually try to be free from that. We should understand that we fight together, we win together, and then we make things work together in society.
Okay, Chair, she has hit a point. Two people were caught in an act. One was punished, the other was left. Society still acts that way. Somebody gets a woman pregnant and all of the problem comes on the woman. From a family perspective, let's say you're having a home setting and the way parents sometimes treat their sons, your son gets somebody's daughter pregnant, and then I've seen families, okay, let's bring the baby home, let's bring the girl home. Not really caring, as it were, the trauma that both the girl and her family have to go through. What can families do in that regard? Because I've seen a lot of it while on this job. People just talk anyhow. Hey, my son has we've had another child, so bring the baby home, bring the mother home. No empathy, nothing. What can be done about that?
You see, parents will have to be very deliberate about disciplining their children, especially the boys. And in our society these days, they make it seem as if everything the man does is okay, but there are certain things that the woman cannot do. You give limitations to the woman. And in this case where the lady gets pregnant and nobody blames the boy for it, the parents will start shouting, yari iska, kinda fiyaro, kinda kinchiki, kinda this and that. And nobody wants to call the boy and question him and also disciplining him for doing what he has done, putting the woman in a family way. So parents will have to really sit with our children, boys, and talk to them. Recently, my child came home from school on midterm break. I sat him down and I was asking him, Lato, is there a girl in your school that you like? The way you laughed, that was how he left. Mommy. He said, mommy. I said, you have come of age.
Yeah.
He's 15 years, going to 16 now. You have come of age. So tell me if there's one girl in your class that you like. Say, mommy,
Don't mommy me.
Tell me, Joe. If you don't tell me, who will you tell? It starts from there.
Yeah.
Go into a conversation with your boy. Let him know the repercussion. I was telling him before when he was going to do, I said, that's all. Don't go and impregnate somebody's daughter. He was looking at me as if what I was saying was strange. You know, he was shying away from it. He said, mommy, you shouldn't be talking like that. I said, no, but you need to start knowing now. You have to be responsible. Let it not be said that you give birth. After all, they will say that when a child is good, it is the father's child. When the child becomes bad, it is the mother.
Yeah.
They will now start pointing, accusing fingers across the mother. So mothers, we have a lot of work to do. We need to sit with our children, the boys, make them know, even though they always want to feel like alpha males, but let them know, please, you have to discipline your child. When the child goes wrong, you discipline that child. You spare a rod, you spoil a child. Discipline the child so that he would know that what he has done is wrong, and next time he will not want to repeat that very same mistake. So when it happens that way, the child should be ready to own up. He should take responsibility, take ownership. Say, okay, me, I have done this one. What will you do now about this that you have done? Mommy, I will take responsibility. And let that boy know that he is now a man. He is now a father because he has put a girl the family way. They should be ready to do things that fathers would do for a child. So it all starts from our homes, like I earlier said. Our parents, we need to sit with our children, especially mothers. Since we are the ones that spend more time with them, we need to really talk to them. You know, make them our friends. Make them know what they need to know, particularly about sex education, and especially if they have come of age. These teenagers, this youthful exuberance is all over their heads. So you need to put them in check and tell them what they need to know, whether or not they like it. Just
Okay,
like
our time is gradually running out now, and then it won't be fair not to touch this before we go. Issue of what our clerics can do in all of this. They say when you talk and touch religion, you're touching a very large spectrum of society here in Nigeria. So we have people who believe so much in the religions, the teachings, as well as the clerics under whom they serve or worship. Anyone can answer this, or you could all answer this in a sentence or two. What do we need to be, churning out from the pulpits? Yeah. Yes, time for responses. I don't know. Gloria, start.
Okay, I think this is a very sensitive one.
Why is it sensitive? Yeah, why is it sensitive?
Because in I don't know if it's okay to say this, but okay, let me just say in some denominations or some sects, even in Christianity, it's not okay to preach family planning. Not the entire family planning aspects, but the issue of using or accessing implants or IUDs. But if it comes to the natural methods, it's okay. In some
Denominations?
some denominations, yes. I don't want to mention names. So, but I think it's better, instead of having abortions that will lead to deaths, instead of having so many children around, which in turn will affect the society, it's better we go for family planning. Family planning is free, is safe, and is very effective. So I think that religious bodies or organizations should embrace family planning, and as a matter of fact, preach it. Yes.
Ojoma, let's have your response before the chair concludes.
Okay, yeah. From my own point also, I think religious leaders shouldn't shy away from it totally, because the truth is here before us, and if we have children that we cannot control, the society will not be safe. So it's actually cool we preach about it, even in the church, in the mosques. That's my own opinion. It should be what we should embrace and educate the people on, so at least we don't have children we don't plan for.
Okay, chair now.
All right. So there is no religion, be it Islam, Christian, the traditional religion, and even the atheists, that would want to give birth to unwanted children. Religions will preach that you should be responsible for children you give birth to, right? So messages that should be preached starting from the youth. I think the religions, just like they have always done, you preach abstinence. That is the best way to go about it for youth until you come of age to get married. When you want to get married, that is okay. But as far as you are not married, you are single, you are a youth, abstinence should be preached across all the religions, which already they are doing so. We give them credit.
Chair, I'm going to stay with you on this, because you're the chairperson of the Family Planning Committee Advocacy here in Adam. As a chairperson, I just at the start of the show raised some issues. The numbers are rising now. Nigeria has, whether we take the statistics from Zone A or Zone B or whatever international agency, the numbers are not less than 18%. Of the women that die around the world, they happen here in Nigeria. Some estimates put it as high as 24. So whether you take 18 or you take 20 or we're talking about 1/5 of the world population dying from pregnancy-related causes happening here in Nigeria. So the figures are alarming. Now, having established that, the recent researches have shown that the chunk or a great number of these figures occur with women who are aborting babies. So are we now at a point where we say we do not talk about it? If religions, I'm sorry to be this blunt, were working in this matter, if they had a hold or a grip on the adherents on this matter, teenagers, young men would not even be having sex in the first place. But it appears people do what they want to do, irrespective of what the religions are teaching. Now the society is left to face what has come from that. So then, in the midst of all of this, with the rising numbers from unsafe abortions, as the chairperson, what would you be saying to clerics and to religions?
Yeah, so I was actually getting there when you actually cut me off. So like I said, for the youth, abstinence, of course, but for the married, those that are married, you would want to preach accessing family planning, because it is the way to go, if you ask me. By accessing that, you plan your family according to what you can afford, to your means. We are in a society where now the economy determines what happens to us in life. We don't have enough money to live on. So if you access family planning, it will also help you plan around your finances. It will help you have a healthy home. The wife will be healthy. The child will be healthy. The children will have good spacing, and even the respect will be there between children. But when you have children all at the same size, the children between themselves will feel as if they are mates. Exactly. And the respect will not even be there in the first place. So, but when you space them, each child knows that this one is my senior. He came before me. Even from the height, you will know. From the size, you will know. Yes, common sense. Yeah. So the clerics, will have to preach it, because, like I earlier said in the beginning, there is no way. There's no shying away from it. Whether we like it or not, if we do not teach our children, they will learn by themselves. So if we don't talk about it, some people outside will teach them the wrong morals. So we need to talk about them. We talk about it in our churches, in our mosques, in our places of gatherings. It has gotten to the extent where we will need to be very vocal about it this time around, in order to avoid unwanted pregnancies and abortions. Terminating the lives of innocent people. It is not their fault that they came and you want to kill them by force. So it's good we talk about it. It has gotten to that point. Family planning services are available across all the centers. You go to primary healthcare centers, you'll find them. You go to the tertiary institutions like the specialist hospitals, the federal medical centers. They're all over the place. So we can just walk in at any time and ask, and then we'll be given the right information that we would want to have. So of course our clerics will have to preach. Accessing family planning is good. I'm sure even they themselves will want to also, plan their family for a better future. So let it trickle around this community and the society at large.
Okay, what would you like to tell the society about should I say teenagers or young girls who mistakenly got pregnant and now are abused in the society because of the condition they find themselves? Because most of the times we tend to see that a girl is pregnant and maybe has given birth. Even the parents sometimes tend to abandon the girl's future when it comes to her education or pursuing her career. What would you like to say about that?
Radio Gazelle, I think this is similar to what you asked earlier, but with a little difference. It's a phase. Life is it's funny because whether you do something or you don't do something, people will talk about you.
Exactly.
Negative or positively. And how much more that you found yourself in that kind of situation. Definitely they are going to stigmatize against you. But it is a phase. Like I said earlier, if you have gotten yourself into that position, you should be ready to take life the way it comes. You should be ready to accept things the way they are. You don't shut down on yourself simply because people are insulting you. Even when you do not carry the unwanted pregnancy, don't they insult you?
Sure,
they do.
And some of these girls were even raped.
So, exactly.
Yeah. So
exactly.
So let's talk to those ones who were raped then.
That is another psychological, trauma.
It's an emotional thing.
Those people go through. They will need a lot of counseling, a lot of guidance, and people. Just like I said earlier, you need to talk to somebody who you can trust. At that point, you don't just talk to anybody. You need to earn somebody's trust, somebody you can relate with easily. So that you can, the person can help you. It will take a lot of psychological, interventions, to pull that person through, especially when that person was raped. It is not an easy thing. Yeah. It could be a trauma for her life, the entire of her life.
Exactly.
But like I would say, it is not the end of the world. The fact that you pulled through that process makes you a champion. You are a survivor. So even if nobody, commends you, pat yourself on your back and say, yes, I went through it. I am still alive. A lot of people were raped and they didn't come out of it. They died. The fact that you are alive means there is hope. Means you are a champion. It means you're a survivor. It is not the end of your life. A lot of people have been through it. You're not the first, and you will not be the end. But we pray that it doesn't, continue in the society. It is our prayer that rape is terminated, is expunged completely from the society. We don't pray for any of our girls, any of our children to be raped and go through that process. It's very traumatic.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you, and thank you. That's where we're cutting on this discussion this morning. But some takeaways as we wrap up. Society has a role to play. Do not stigmatize, do not vilify, do not demonize a girl who got pregnant because somebody got her pregnant. Parents, the buck stops at your table. You have the responsibility of inculcating morals and values, decency, discipline, first in your boys, in your girls as well, and then teaching them how to take responsibility for actions they have engaged in. And of course, we also said the clerics have a role to play as well. We teach abstinence, we preach abstinence, and the youths, everyone involved who is sexually active, you have a responsibility. There's the A, B, and C. Abstinence. Well, sometimes some people say it is not easy to abstain. That's why you have the be faithful to one partner, or the C option, which people don't always want to talk about, but they are always using the condoms. Yeah. Whatever you do, protect the life of that woman. That's what we've been saying this year, and we're saying it again. Thank you, Samamu Dayden, Chairperson, Adamawa State Family Planning Media Advocacy Forum, for joining us and talking about women's rights and health this morning.
Thank you, Efran.
Thank you, Gloria Abutu, for joining us on the show as well and talking to us this morning.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
And thank you to Ojoma Yusuf, independent producer, independent prolific writer, for joining us this morning and having a say.
Thank you so much. It's actually a privilege for me to be here. Thank you.
And of course, from this side, it's been myself and the Radio Gazelle. We'll just take a short break, and when we come, we'll look at the papers for the next 5 minutes or so, and it'll be time to say our goodbyes. This stay with us. It's Usaku FM 90.5, reaching you live from Yola, Nigeria.